to the Who Dat Nation. This is the Dawn Patrol podcast, brought to you by the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and the final head coaching vacancy has been filled, and it, of course, comes from the New Orleans Saints. Of course, we'll be the last team to fill our vacant head coaching position. Before we get into that, before we get into the coaching decision, let's address the biggest elephant in the room, at least the biggest one to me, and that is the incident that took place in Las Vegas, Nevada over the weekend. And of course, no, not that slobber knocker of a Pro Bowl, or should I say embarrassment of a Pro Bowl. But let's talk about what took place before and immediately after the Pro Bowl. The Saints, I guess you could say offense. The Saints playmaker, the Saints premier player, Alvin Kamara, was arrested for assault in Las Vegas over this weekend, and it comes at a bit of a shock, because you never hear that type of incident or these type of accusations coming from Alvin Kamara. I always pictured Alvin Kamara as this a cool laid back cat. And from what I understand, I know a lot of people who have ran across him, and whether it's in a club or just out and about in New Orleans, because I don't go nowhere, so I got to get my information from others. And like, man, I seen him in the club the other night. Oh yeah, man, I seen him out and about or whatever. He's just a cool dude, you know. You never hear him getting into any foolishness. Well, all good things must come to an end. Apparently, Alvin Kamara got into a fisticuffs with a individual at a casino in Las Vegas on Saturday night, or Saturday morning, or Saturday. I don't know, morning, night, whatever. I'll read the report to you. But and after the game, after the Pro Bowl, he's walking off the field, and the police were sitting there waiting on him. Didn't even let him get out of his uniform. But it was really, really, really disturbing to find that out about Alvin Kamara. But let's go over this report. Let's go over the events that took place that led to Alvin Kamara's arrest over this weekend. And then we'll get into the coaching decision. But there is a video. There is I guess a surveillance video or whatever that's out there. I haven't seen it, but it is described in this report. So we're just going to go over it and address it and move on, because it's crazy. But video surveillance shows New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara punching a man approximately 8 times before Kamara's assistants or associates proceeded to stomp the man several times on the ground in a Las Vegas casino Saturday morning, according to the police report from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Kamara was later taken into custody outside Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium on Sunday evening after he played in the Pro Bowl. He was interviewed by police and then arrested and charged with battery resulting in substantial bodily harm and booked at the Clark County Detention Center. Kamara was released after posting bail later Sunday night. The man, who hasn't been identified, or his name wasn't released, who was knocked unconscious, suffered an orbital fracture in his right eye, among other injuries, according to the police report. Police said the video surveillance matches the man's accounts. The man said he started a conversation with one member of a group of people while waiting on an elevator as he was leaving a casino in South Las Vegas Boulevard at about 6:30 a.m. local time. When the elevator doors opened, the man started to walk towards the elevator along with a large party. But a man later identified as Alvin Kamara put his hands on the victim's chest and stopped him. The man said he then pushed Kamara's hand off of his chest. Then Kamara pushed back hard enough to cause the man to stumble. Afterwards, the man recalled being hit and kicked by multiple people and lost consciousness. According to the video surveillance, the man was speaking to a woman before the events occurred as he described. After Kamara pushed the man, one of Kamara's associates punched the man in the face. Then Kamara lunged towards the man and punched him approximately 8 times, including 3 times after he had fallen to the ground. 3 other of Kamara's group then began stomping the man in the face, chest, and legs. One of Kamara's associates stomped him about 16 times, according to the police reports. The incident broke up once security arrived, and Kamara and his party were escorted off the property. Kamara was later identified through video and eyewitness accounts, and he had used his ID and credit card while at the casino. Police met him outside the stadium after the Sunday game and read him his Miranda rights before interviewing him. Kamara told police that he was with his girlfriend, his assistant, and a couple of friends. Kamara said that the man called one of his friends ugly while they were waiting for the elevator, and then later said, "I'll whoop your blank too." Kamara said he saw the fight break out next to him and saw the man get punched. When asked why he punched the man, Kamara indicated that he thought the man was running away and had done something to his group, so he chased him and punched him several times. The police report notes that the video shows that the man was not running away. Kamara was initially scheduled for a court appearance Monday afternoon, but that hearing was moved to March the 8th. Neither Kamara, the Saints, nor anybody representing Kamara has made any public statements on the incident yet. The 26-year-old running back played in the Pro Bowl game, if you want to call it played in the game, if you want to call it a game, and caught 4 passes for 23 yards for the NFC team. That don't mean nothing. But so that's what took place. And if there's video, and according to the police, everything old boy who got his behind whipped, everything he says lines up with that tape. Whereas everything Kamara says is should I say contradictory of that tape. So I don't it don't look too good for Alvin, in the words of Dave from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Yep, not looking too good. So you can pretty much bet you would not be seeing Alvin Kamara until midway into next season, if you're lucky. Because this was brutal, man. This was brutal. They jumped that dude. They almost killed that man. I mean, he got eye damage. I mean, you stumped him on the chest, and good Lord, man, y'all trying to kill the dude, all because he called somebody ugly, allegedly. Man, I've been called ugly more times than I can count. I mean, it is what it is. I'll be fighting every day if that was the case. And man, come on, man, stop. I'm really disappointed. If this is true, I'm very disappointed in Alvin Kamara. Very, very, very disappointed. 'Cause like I said, I've never heard a bad word about the dude. Never did. I always heard good things about Alvin Kamara. And, you know, I mean, this is so far off base. Now, hey, he could have been like this before. He just never got caught. So, unfortunately, he got caught. And here we are. So, you can bet your bottom dollar. At the very least, Kamara's going to miss 4 to 6 games next season. I'm willing to put money on that. And that's at the least. Because this was brutal. This was brutal, man. And then you lied. Allegedly. Like I said, this is according to I haven't seen the video, so I can't say if it's yay or nay. But if this lines up, according to the police, if that all lines up to what they're saying, he got issues, man. He got some serious issues. Not just playing next year, being a free man next year. I mean, good Lord, man. But that's that. That's that incident. That's the bad news of the weekend. But I guess you could say the Saints did get some good news this weekend. More accurately, this Monday, the Saints have finally found their head coach. And I say finally found very loosely. This pretty much confirms my feelings from about a week ago, when I pretty much 2 weeks ago, where I thought this is the way this was gonna go. The Saints have informed Dennis Allen, their defensive coordinator of the past 8-9 years, that he is the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints. I'm I'll save that to the end. Now, Allen was one of the number of candidates interviewed for this opening, created by Sean Payton when he decided to quote unquote retire. Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy interviewed yesterday, which was Sunday. Former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores interviewed. Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn interviewed, among others. But in the end, the Saints opted to keep their selection in-house, choosing to go with Dennis Allen, who, to his credit, saw a steady improvement since 2015 while working with Sean Payton concerning that defense. The defense every year got better and better and better. I can honestly say that under Dennis Allen. He really coached that defense. I'm not taking nothing away from him there. Allen does bring pass coaching, head coaching experience to the table. For better or worse, he was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders at the time, from 2012 to 2014. That was far from successful, to put things mildly. Dennis Allen went 8 of 28, but also came at a time when the Raiders lacked quality of talent. They really had nothing in Oakland. The team you see now is leaps and bounds better than what they had then, and the team they have now is not really all that good. So that's just to put things in perspective. So I'll give them a little leeway there, but That team was horrible for those 2.5 years he was there. Now, Dennis Allen will be tasked with working with general manager Mickey Loomis on navigating a currently, how could I put this mildly, inflated salary cap situation that has the Saints sitting nearly $77 million over the cap. And that's up and down, because depending on where you read, I've seen it as low as, if you want to say it like that, 70. I've seen 71. I've seen 77. You know, so it's clear to say it's in the 70s. I don't care if it's 71. It's hard. That is bad, and I can't tell you where that money going. Loomis will be able to get the Saints in a better position financially by restructuring a number of deals. Though a few moves may also be necessary to move the Saints below the cap this offseason. 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to lose a few players that are detrimental for this team, man. Very important. I don't know what pieces to move per se. They probably can restructure Taysom Hill contract, which is I think they put that there for that reason. The way his deal is currently structured. Maybe look at a Michael Thomas deal, restructure that. Cam Jordan deal, or that's it. That's all I can think of. Or Alvin Kamara. Alvin may have to. He gonna have to swallow something, and he really doesn't have room to talk right now. So he's gonna have to take whatever they give or offer to him. I don't know where else they can move this money. But the biggest question mark, the most important thing Dennis Allen will have to face, and aside from the salary cap, well, actually it goes kind of hand in hand, is the Saints need to identify who will be taking the snaps next season. Who will be on the center next season at quarterback? Now, currently, the Saints have 2 quarterbacks under contract. I already said Taysom Hill. Now, he was the golden boy of Sean Payton. That was a project for Sean Payton. I don't know if Dennis Allen or Pete Carmichael or whoever he's going to bring in to run the offense, if he's going to bring somebody in new, I don't know if that's going to be a hill they're going to want to die on. But I don't know. Now, also on the contract, of course, is our rookie quarterback, or second year officially, Ian Book. That's the only 2 quarterbacks you have under contract. Now, the Saints still have to decide whether they will attempt to bring Jameis Winston back following that season-ending knee injury, the ACL injury. That'll be my vote. But because I don't see nobody, I don't see Dennis Allen luring a Russell Wilson. I don't see Dennis Allen luring a Deshaun Watson, luring a Aaron Rodgers. I don't see that happening. So your best bet will be Jameis Winston. Well, let me just go into my thoughts on this hire. I've said throughout this whole process that I personally don't have a problem with Dennis Allen. I like Dennis Allen. I'm not mad at the fact he's the head coach. Here's where I'm a little upset with, as far as the Saints. Not Dennis Allen, but the Saints. I think the Saints had an opportunity to really bring in a quality coach on the upswing. i.e. a Brian Flores, i.e. a Eric Bieniemy. The Eric Bieniemy one really troubles me, and the reason being, he came for an interview on Sunday. It was an 8-hour interview. They said they met for over 8 hours. And for 8 hours, it took you less time to decide that you was going to go with Dennis Allen. And so, what am I missing here? And what happened in that interview that y'all felt that Dennis Allen was more qualified than the Eric Bieniemy or a Brian Flores? Now, those are the only two remaining candidates who have head coaching. Well, not Eric Bieniemy, but Eric Bieniemy is the play caller of the offense in Kansas City. Under the tutelage of Andy Reid, who is one of the most decorated coaches currently in the league. You know what I'm saying? So what am I missing here? And once again, I want to drive home the point. This is not a knock on Dennis Allen. I think Dennis Allen can be a good coach, head coach. I really do. I believe he will. But I think the Saints went with the safe pick. That was the safe pick. A couple of things happened throughout the last week or so where I knew that this is where they were going. Number one, when Sean Payton first announced that he was retiring, on that same day, Dennis Allen was scheduled to have a head coaching job interview with the Chicago Bears. As soon as the Chicago Bears found out that Sean Payton was retiring or stepping down from the Saints, that interview miraculously got canceled. Not postponed, not put on hold, canceled. And I went to scratching my head like, what? And it wasn't like they found their coach. They didn't find their coach until a couple of days later. Or maybe 2 or 3 days later. I forgot the timeline. But I can see they canceled it when they decided on the coach. But no, that interview got canceled. And I was like, man, why? 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 You know, and I went to, then at the press conference with Sean Payton, when he was giving his little exit interview or his exit press conference, Dennis Allen was there. And I said, yeah, they're going to go with Dennis Allen. And I knew the Rooney Rule. We all know that glorious Rooney Rule. And all of a sudden, immediately they announced that Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator in Detroit, who was here in New Orleans for a few years on the staff, he was scheduled for an interview. And I said, well, they just doing that to get the Rooney Rule out the way. All right. Then the next thing you know, you're hearing, okay, they requested to talk to Brian Leftwich, which I don't even think happened unless they did it on the slick. But I don't even think that interview happened. But then Brian Flores. And I'm like, okay. When Brian Flores' name popped up, I was very excited because I'm a big fan of his. And then you hear Doug Peterson. And I'm like, why? And then I kind of warmed up to it. I'm like, well, he is a Super Bowl winning coach. But is it really him or was it Frank Wright? And I'm going with Frank Wright. But we didn't have that problem. He ended up being the coach of Jacksonville. So we have Flores. Then Flores has the lawsuit against the NFL. And now you're like, okay, I doubt if they touch that with a 10-foot pole. So at that point, it was like, okay, it's Dennis Allen's job to lose. They also interviewed the offensive core. I'm not offensive. The special teams coordinator for the Saints. I can't think of his name right now, but they interviewed him as well. Now he has some head coaching experience. I think he coached in college, but they went with him. They interviewed with him. So you're like, okay, it's Dennis Allen's job. Then, but this Flores thing was still kind of hovering. And then all of a sudden, out the blue, you hear the Saints requested to interview Eric Bieniemy. I'm like, well, why would they interview Eric Bieniemy? And brought him in, and they talked for 8 hours. And the next thing you know, like, okay, we'll have our decision by Monday afternoon, whenever. So at that point, I'm really starting to ride this Eric Bieniemy train, because that was my number one pick. Personally, that was my number one pick. But deep down, that little nugget, and it just stayed there. It was like, Dennis Allen, this is Dennis Allen's job. And then you get the news, the breaking news is Dennis Allen's going to be the coach. And I wasn't mad. I was just real disappointed. You know, that line your parents gave you. like, look, I'm not mad at you. I'm just real disappointed. You remember that. Y'all weren't told that? Well, I was told that a few times. But it was very disappointing, because I thought that was a good hire if they would have went that direction. But here's another thing that I skipped over that took place. Mickey Loomis had an interview. He was down at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, and they asked him, how the coaching search is going, what you're looking for, and blah blah blah. And Mickey Loomis, always playing things close to the vest, didn't really say nothing, but he said something that really stuck with me. And he said that he has no plans, or the organization has no plans to blow up the team. They have no plans to change their philosophy. And that was it. At that point, I knew it was Dennis Allen. Even with the Bieniemy thing, and that's why I had that little nugget there that is Dennis Allen's job to lose. I mean, Eric Bieniemy had to come in here walking on water, holding hands with Jesus in order to get this job. And apparently that didn't happen. And so here we are, Dennis Allen, the 11th head coach of the New Orleans Saints. I'm optimistic. I'm not over the moon excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, be perfectly honest with you. I felt that they had better options out there, and I could be proven wrong. And I pray that I am proven wrong, because I'm upset, but I want my team to succeed. I want my team to keep up this winning tradition, and that's why I think the Saints went in the direction that they went. This was the safe pick. This was somebody who has been here with the team throughout these years. He knows the system. He knows the in and outs of this organization. He knows the team. He knows the coaches. He knows the staff. He knows the office personnel. Nothing would change. It's the status quo. And that's the problem that I think I have with it. Nothing is changing. Now, it's hard to say you want to change something for a team that's winning, that's coming off a winning season. I'm not asking for a change, a whole culture change. Like, okay, we're not going to run a 4-3 no more. We're running a 3-4 defense. We're not going to be this high-powered octane offense, throw the ball up and down the field 60 times a game. We're going to be a power run team now. I'm not saying we're going to change this whole philosophy. I wasn't expecting that because the team not built that way. The way the team is currently built is built for Sean Payton offense. and is built to continue on in the same fashion that has been chugging along for the past 16 years. That's good and that's bad. That's good. That's good because there's consistency. It's bad because other teams know what you're doing. And that was my fear. And I think that's what these coaches probably came in discussing. They probably wanted to change a few things. Or the Saints were like, look, if you come in, you take this job, we're keeping the staff. Dennis Allen's going to be your defensive coordinator. Pete Carmichael's going to be your offensive coordinator, so on and so forth. And it goes like, well, if I can't pick my staff, I can't leave. I'm just speculating. I don't know if that was the reason why, but I don't understand how you talk to somebody, interview somebody for 8 hours. Y'all had to eat, use the bathroom, wash hands, sit back down, chat it up, sip wine. I mean, y'all were chummy for 8 hours. That's a work day. That's a whole work. That's a clock in and clock out. That's 9 to 5. A whole day's work. You interviewed somebody only not to get the job. That goes back to my Rooney Rule rant, but I'll save that for another time. And the other theory, which is the far out theory that you could say is wishful thinking, or you could say is I'm thinking too hard or too much into this, is the fact that Dennis Allen took this job, or they gave Dennis Allen this job this year because Sean Payton will return in 2023. That is an option. Sean Payton's just taking a year off, relax, recalibrate, and come back. Because the reason I say that is Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis and Gail Benson, nobody is clear onto why he left. Because he claimed he wasn't burnt out. He claimed it wasn't none of that. He just needed some time off. Mickey Loomis, when they interviewed him the last couple of times this past week, he was like, yeah, he doesn't really talk about Sean Payton. He talks about Sean Payton as if he's still a part of the team. It's not farewell, so long, goodbye. It's like he's still there. He's just on vacation. And that's the way they're treating it. And this could be a placeholder year for Dennis Allen. All the rest of this dog and pony show they put on with the other coaches was just to, I guess, abide by the league's rules. They have to interview such and such for this position. That's, of course, that's the far out theory. That's the conspiracy theory part of the of this situation. That yes, Dennis Allen is just doing this for a year. Sean Payton will return next season and is back to normal. But who knows? But Dennis Allen, regardless whether he's just here for a placeholder or he's here for the future, I wish him all the luck in the world. Congratulations. I'm glad he's gotten this opportunity. I hope he does well in it. But he has a tall task in front of him. One thing I will say, this defense will continue to be the way it's been, which is very encouraging. We're still going to have a top-notch defense. At least it should. As long as he's here and have his meat hooks in it. Offensively, there's a question mark there. Not only, not so much with the offensive coordinator side of it, because I'm assuming Pete Carmichael is still. I don't think nothing's going to change. Nothing changes on that sideline, with the exception of the absence of Sean Payton. That's it. That's all. Everything else will remain the same. That's my theory. I don't think he's bringing in Eric Bieniemy to be the offensive coordinator here, because I learned that his contract with the Chiefs expired. So he'll be out of a job, which I doubt. They probably gonna re-sign him, I would assume. I just can't understand why this man can't get a job, a head coaching job. Makes no sense to me. But anyways, I doubt if he bring him in for an offensive coordinator position here. I doubt if you bring in Brian Flores to be the defensive coordinator. Would he take that job? Would that be a step down? You know, I don't know. But regardless, I think it's going to be the same. He'll have to make a decision with this quarterback, and I think that's the first decision he'll have to make. And that's going to determine my feelings going forward, because if they are all in with Taysom Hill, honestly, people, I can't imagine that being logical. I can't imagine you sitting there thinking that that's going to get you to the promised land. No. Now, if he's going to sit back and develop Ian Book, if Sean Payton couldn't develop Ian Book, what makes you think Dennis Allen will? Jameis Winston, on the other hand, Jameis Winston, he knows the offense. He was improving game by game. Jameis, we won 9 games last season. We won 9. Jameis Winston won 5 of them, and he missed half the season. So if you want to put that in, actually more than half. He missed 10 games last season, and he still won more games than the other 3 quarterbacks put together. He had 14 touchdowns, 3 intercepts. He had more touchdowns than the rest of the 3 quarterbacks. And so, I mean, you can't. This is pretty simple to me. This is a no-brainer. Bring back Jameis Winston. I'm not concerned with Russell Wilson and all those other guys. That's too much. Like I said, we're $77 million over the cap. We can't afford nobody else. We can't afford to bring in those top-notch $40, $50 thousand. I wish $40 or $50 million a year quarterbacks. It's just impossible. And so, bring back Jameis Winston. You can get him far cheaper than that, and he knows the offense, and he's a pretty good quarterback. I think he proved that. And so, and then you got the looming discipline of Alvin Kamara, which is coming. And so you got a lot to deal with going into this season, even though it's still a nice foundation to have moving forward, because I mean, he already knows. That he knows the team. He knows what we have. He knows what we need. So there's that plus. Like I said, it's the safe pick. This was the safe pick. This is a smooth transition. Basically no transition at all. And so there we have it. Dennis Allen, the new coach of the New Orleans Saints. How do y'all feel? Do you happy with this pick? I know it was kind of divided online leading up to this. Hadn't really looked at nothing online since the announcement. I'm pretty sure you're going to have those contingents of fans who are over the moon that Dennis Allen is the coach. And I know there are a great portion of the Who Dat Nation that is hot as fish grease right now because Dennis Allen is the coach. I'm pretty neutral there. I'm neutral. I'm skeptical, but I'm optimistic. I'm willing to have an open mind going forward. I'm a diehard Who Dat. I'm wishing and praying for the best. So there you have it. So everybody, I had to jump in on this. This Alvin Kamara situation is ugly. That is an ugly situation. Let me take that back. I can't say ugly because that is offensive. Apparently, that would cause me to get stumped out. So it is a bad situation. to put it mildly. Anyways, Lord have mercy. I hope that gets straightened out. That is bad, man. That is bad. Anywho's, everybody. Don't forget to look us up on social media. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all social media platforms, KB Radio Network. Also, if you're listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave your 5-star ratings and leave those reviews. It helps out this show tremendously. Please leave the 5-star reviews. Help us out. And so we will be back sooner than later. We still have the draft coming up. We have free agency coming up. We're not going anywhere. I thought I was going to be off season with the Dome Patrol podcast, but you keep pulling me back in. So we're going to stay here every time we got some news to discuss concerning our New Orleans Saints. Hopefully it'll be nothing but good news, because lately it's been poo-poo news. Dennis Allen is kind of lukewarm. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just right in the middle. But at least we have a coach. At least we're moving forward that way. So finally some good news. We haven't had any good news in over a month in the Who Dat Nation. So this feels somewhat good. So everybody, look, enjoy this time. Because the stress is about to begin with free agency, because we're about to see a lot of our players. Some players we don't want to leave is probably going to leave, and we're probably going to end up getting some players that we didn't want, but we're going to get them. So prepare yourselves. So everybody in the Who Dat Nation, heads up. There are brighter days ahead. So until we speak on the next go around, I'm screaming, Who Dat?